It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast on this, the 19th day of December 2025. Coming to you from my studio in Forest, Virginia, right outside Lynchburg. Today, folks, is not the biggest news day in the world. By the way, the show is brought to you by Will U.S., the owner of Scoot Around, and by Chillie's Cruises. We got a couple of featured stories to take up some space this morning. The lead story is Mardi Gras 2026 in New Orleans. Also today, 1 million guests in November. Pier damage at Cozumel. Hundreds of winter voyages. Carnival Firenze to New York. Trump expands travel ban. Guests turned away for documentation slips. And enjoy the flavors of the Pacific Northwest. That and lots more live here this morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, guys. Of course, this is starting into Christmas week. And today is National Hard Candy Day. Yeah. Not the biggest fan. Oh, I'll eat it, a peppermint or something like that. But just to suck on a piece of hard candy, it's not my thing. This day in history, however, in 1606, the ships carrying settlers who founded Jamestown, Virginia, leave England. Of course, we're never sure if my forefathers or foremothers or four aunts or four uncles or four anythings might have been on those ships. But they were certainly in Virginia in the early days. Anyway, that's this day in history. If you're a podcast person, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Just search for travel and cruise industry news, and up pops the old fat guy. All right, had a lot of feedback from our interview on Wednesday. I appreciate all the comments you guys made about Jen. I enjoyed that immensely and thought it was quite helpful. I have ordered a couple of her books because I'm interested in her perspective on a couple things. So I'll let you know how that goes. All right, guys, I don't really have a lot of extracurricular stuff this day, so let's get on with the business at hand. I'll be back with today's news after a quick break from one of those fine network sponsors. All right, guys. So we're going to get started today talking about Mardi Gras. Nestor, what have you learned about New Orleans?
New Orleans' most iconic celebration returns for Mardi Gras 2026, running from January 6th through February 17th. Spanning weeks of parades, elaborate costumes, live music, and centuries-old traditions, Carnival season officially begins on 12th night and culminates on Fat Tuesday, when the entire city transforms into one massive, non-stop celebration. While festivities take place throughout the season, the largest and most popular celebrations occur during the final week leading up to Mardi Gras Day. During this period, marathon parades and super crews roll nightly, drawing visitors from around the world. Earlier weeks feature neighborhood parades on weekends, offering a more relaxed and local experience. Travelers should book flights and hotels well in advance, as accommodations fill quickly. The primary parade route follows St. Charles Avenue, starting near Napoleon Avenue and Tchoupitoulas Street, continuing downtown, and ending with a turn onto Canal Street. Beyond the main route, festivities spill into the French Quarter, Marigny, Bywater, Mid-City, and neighborhoods across the city. Mardi Gras is known for its unique neighborhood events, including Crew du Vier's satirical floats, the Northside Skull and Bones gang roaming Treme at dawn, Tit Rex's tiny shoebox floats, and the Mystic Crew of Barcus Parade celebrating dogs and their owners. Where to stay? Uptown, Napoleon to Jackson Avenue, ideal for families and classic parade viewing. St. Charles Avenue and Canal Street hotels, prime locations with quick parade access. French Quarter, close to the action, lively and adult-oriented. Central Business District and Warehouse District, convenient for parades, dining, and nightlife. Walking is the easiest way to get around during Mardi Gras, with biking also popular thanks to rentals and blue bikes. Rideshares are available but often come with surge pricing. Staying near the parade route is helpful, especially for restroom access. Many churches and schools along the route offer facilities for a small fee. All Mardi Gras parades are free to attend, and the celebration is famously family-friendly, with many locals growing up attending year after year. The event is also deeply welcoming to the LGBTQ community, featuring dedicated crews, balls, and the renowned Bourbon Street Awards Drag Queen contest on Mardi Gras Day. For detailed parade schedules, route maps, and planning resources, visit neworleans.com. Port Miami welcomed more than 1 million cruise guests during November 2025. This is the first time in the port's history so many guests have passed through in a single month. Port Miami is home to several of the world's largest cruise ships from different cruise lines. Norwegian Encore visited Falmouth, Jamaica on Wednesday instead of Cozumel. The itinerary change was due to pier damage in Cozumel, but details have not been released. The ship will also arrive at Grand Cayman earlier than planned, but so far there are no other changes. Norwegian Cruise Line has announced deployments for the 2027-2028 winter season. This announcement came with the return of Norwegian's Free at Sea Plus program, giving cruisers additional perks. For the winter season, Norwegian Cruise Line's fleet will sail from 15 homeports: Miami, Florida, Port Canaveral, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Galveston, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Los Angeles, California, Tokyo, Japan, Yokohama, Japan, Seoul, South Korea, Hong Kong, Singapore, Sydney, Australia, Auckland, New Zealand, and, for the first time, two of Norwegian's newest ships, the 143,535 gross ton Norwegian Prima, and her sister ship, Norwegian Viva, will homeport from San Juan, Puerto Rico. These voyages will sail to 144 destinations across 47 different countries. They range from quick 2-day weekend getaways to massive 22-day journeys for the most dedicated cruisers. Carnival Cruise Line announced some major deployment plans for 2027-28, as Carnival Splendor sails 4 new itineraries in Australia and Southeast Asia. Carnival Firenze, currently sailing year-round from Long Beach, California, will reposition to New York and replace sister ship Carnival Venezia as that vessel deploys to Port Miami. It will be Carnival Firenze's Big Apple debut. President Donald Trump expanded his administration's ban on some foreign visitors on December 16, signing a proclamation that extended the existing ban on 12 countries and added others to the list. The White House, in a news release announcing the update, said the restrictions are aimed at preventing foreign nationals from entering the country if American officials don't have sufficient information about their background, along with other foreign policy goals. Trump has campaigned on sweeping immigration crackdowns in the United States, and other travel restrictions were a cornerstone of his first term. The December 16 move banned citizens from Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, South Sudan, Syria, travelers with documents issued by the Palestinian Authority. Nationals holding passports from the following 15 countries are now restricted from entering the United States: Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin, Côte d'Ivoire, Dominica, Gabon, the Gambia, Malawi, Mauritania, Nigeria, Senegal, Tanzania, Tonga, Zambia, Are you planning to visit Anaheim, LA, or Disneyland in the next few months? Get our biggest discounts of the year when you book by January 4, 2026. With pleasant temperatures, fewer crowds, and lower prices, the winter months are some of the best times to visit the LA area. Anaheim and LA rentals are 20% off when you book by the 4th of January 26. Use code SRN11137. Rent now or call 1-888-441-7575. Norwegian Epic has skipped Curaçao and Norwegian Sky has removed the port from a January sailing. No reason has been offered other than naval exercises and updated port availability. Local news sources note that rising tensions between Venezuela and the U.S. may be causing the changes. If there is one thing every cruiser must remember to do, it is to double-check what documentation is needed in order to embark on their sailing and triple-check that they bring it all with them. Guests who fail to do so could be denied boarding, which is what happened to one family who recently attempted to embark on a Norwegian Cruise Line ship in Jacksonville, Florida. Few regions in America blend nature, flavor, and tradition as beautifully as the Pacific Northwest. When you cruise the Columbia and Snake Rivers, you're traveling through the heart of a landscape where two of life's great pleasures, fresh salmon and fine wine, come together in perfect harmony. It's a region where the rivers themselves give life to both, and where every meal can feel like a connection to the land and water around you. The story of the Pacific salmon is one of nature's most extraordinary journeys. Born in cool, clear freshwater streams of the northwest interior, tiny salmon fry spend their early months in protected pools before drifting downstream toward the Pacific Ocean. There, they grow to maturity in the cold, rich waters of the North Pacific, sometimes traveling thousands of miles. After several years, an instinct older than the mountains calls them home. Against strong currents and towering waterfalls, they fight their way back up the Columbia and its tributary rivers to the very stream where they were born. It's a powerful symbol of perseverance and renewal that has long inspired the people of the Northwest. Indigenous peoples along the Columbia River have honored the salmon for millennia, viewing the species as a sacred gift. Early settlers came to depend on the annual salmon runs, which once filled the river so thickly that observers claimed you could walk across on their backs. Today, salmon remains central to the region's identity. Baked, grilled, smoked, or cedar planked, they are the undisputed star of Northwest cuisine. Just as the rivers define the life of the salmon, they also shape the vineyards that rise above their banks. The Columbia River Gorge and Walla Walla Valley enjoy a perfect blend of conditions, sunny days, cool nights, and well-drained soils, that make them among the most celebrated wine regions in the U.S. More than 2,000 wineries now flourish across Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, producing world-class Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Riesling, and bold Cabernet Sauvignon that rival those of California or Europe. Many vineyards welcome visitors for tastings, often pairing their wines with wild-caught salmon, artisan cheeses, and farm-fresh produce from the Yakima and Willamette valleys. It's a culinary culture rooted in the land, the seasons, and a love of authenticity. For travelers exploring these rivers, each meal is a reflection of the place. Imagine dining as the sun sets behind Mount Hood, enjoying a perfectly grilled fillet of Columbia River salmon alongside a crisp Oregon Pinot Gris. It's not just dinner, it's the flavor of the Northwest itself, pure, vibrant, and deeply connected to its rivers. From salmon runs to vineyard rows, the Columbia and Snake Rivers offer a feast for every sense. For more info on Columbia and Snake River cruises, call Chillie at 434-258-9264.
And of course, that's the American Cruise Line, sails the Snake River. Again, folks, I want to get on the American Cruise Line. I want to prove to you folks that they are accessible. They have an accessible cabin, so it gives those of us in the disabled community a chance to do some river cruising. Yeah, it's still expensive, but you get a lot more for your value. So anyway, I'll continue to work on that. Hopefully 2026 will be the year that I will actually get on a river cruise. That would be wonderful. All right, that's going to put an end to the news portion of today's show. let's go over and see who is fussing at me in the chat room. All right. So Gary Older Than Dirt is the first one in the house this morning. Says, good morning, everybody. There's Eli. Buena dias, Chillie and gang, from a hazy day in Playa. The high will only be 82. Oh, my God. Get your fur-lined fig leaf out. Goodness gracious. 82. That's just awful. There's Ken. Good morning, Ken. Good to see you back on the show. By the way, guys, if some of you don't know yet, Eli is off of Princess and will be going on Azamara Quest. So some of you might want to start looking at Azamara. Mike's with us from the other side of the pond. Good morning, Mike. Jamin's here. Yes.
I will, but I have to go and they're not up yet.
Okay.
So I got called to do a pet sitting job, and I don't think I'll be back to get mom up.
Okay.
Okay, I'll bring you a drink just a second.
Okay, thanks, Amanda. All right, that was Amanda on her way out the door. Got called to do a pet sitting job. Let's see, where was that? Jamin's here. Good morning, Jamin. Bob's with us. Says, good morning, gang. Have a great day. If you're traveling, be safe. Yeah, people are going to start moving about for the holidays, I would think. I am not traveling for the holidays this year. Roger's with us. 57 days till we sail on MSC Grandiosa. Thank you, Amanda. Yes, that's true. 57 days. And by the way, guys, in case you are not aware of it, those of you that are booked on the Grandiosa with us, I say us because there's a bunch of us, you can check in. Hot Air Tom checked in 2 days ago. I checked in yesterday. So the check-in is now available. I don't know. Maybe it's me, but it seemed like that was available awful early. But anyway, that's is available for you to take care of that. Yeah, I went through it yesterday. Now I was on my computer. I was over in my chair. I went through the check-in with no problem, up to trying to download the picture. And I couldn't do that. So I checked with Hot Air Tom to see what he had done. And he had, in fact, had the same problem, only he switched over to his phone. And I just refilled my Diet Coke, in case you're wondering. So I switched over to his phone, was able to do the picture. So I tried that, still couldn't get the picture up. Of course, I realized that they'll just take it at the counter. It's not any big deal. There is Hot Air Tom, says, hello, everyone. Eli says, can you believe I've never been to New Orleans? Twice I was on a ship scheduled there, but got transferred both times before that happened. Boy, you know, some people don't like New Orleans, Eli. I love it. It's one of my favorite cities. And yes, some of the sidewalks are rough because they're older, but they do a pretty good job of making it accessible. Some of the bars have the step-ups, which you find in many cases to avoid flooding. But most of those do have a ramp if you check. The other thing I like is I've got a couple bars there that keep my Elijah Craig in stock. So, and one is named the Bourbon House. So if any of you want to try my Elijah Craig, you can get it there at the Bourbon House in New Orleans. It is always an experience. There's a couple things you have to do in New Orleans. One, you have to go get the what do you call the pastry things where you get powdered sugar all over you. My mind went blank. But anyway, those are a specialty in New Orleans. And you have to go up and down Bourbon Street. Quite an experience. You might want to try doing a bunch of different bars there. It's quite fun, quite entertaining. And then, of course, you have a chance to go to Mardi Gras. I went to one Mardi Gras, and that was many, many years ago. But it's an experience. Roger says, I have 49 days. Are you not boarding February 7th? No, Roger doesn't board until February 14th. He's doing the second of the cruises. Hot air, Tom. Elizabeth, not missing much. Bad, dirty sidewalks and smells. I like New Orleans. Great food. Yeah, if you like that, Cajun cooking is cooking all its own. Sonny's with us, says good morning. Hi, Sonny, down in Mississippi. Chillie's Cruises, did you get your check-in for Grandiosa completed? Except for the picture. I still didn't get the picture done. Sonny says, I agree. A dirty city, New Orleans, had a bad vibe for me. I didn't feel that way about it. There are definitely some places that it's an older, flood-prone city. As a result, it's not as nice and new and shiny as many cities are. Keeping that in mind, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed rolling around. Yes, some of the sidewalks need some repair, but I could get by. I rolled all over New Orleans. I was there, 3 days before a cruise and a day after a cruise, and covered that city from top to bottom. I enjoyed. The only thing I didn't get to do there was go to the zoo, which I would do that again. When I go back to New Orleans, and I will go back. I like New Orleans. Hot Air Tom says JetBlue announced a direct flight from Richmond to San Juan. Are you ready to cruise from San Juan? I would have no problems at all cruising from San Juan. I would have a problem getting to San Juan. I don't like to fly, Tom, especially on small planes. Now, I don't know what kind of plane they're using from Richmond to San Juan. I wouldn't think that would be a hugely popular route. However, I'd sail from San Juan. Eli says, Sonny and Tom, that's what I thought. So I never pushed it as a place I needed to go. Just funny that it's so close and I've never been. Yeah, you've been a lot of places like that, though, Eli, that aren't necessarily pretty, but you like to go there. And New Orleans is one of them for me. So maybe a cultural tour of New Orleans might be interesting if you can ever go. Yes, it would. Some of the haunted houses and things are interesting. Haunted cemeteries. There's some neat things to do in New Orleans. You have to pronounce it right. It's not New Orleans. It's New Orleans. If they slur it together, only New Orleans folks can do it. New Orleans. They turn it into a one-syllable word. Gretchen's with us out in Ohio. Hi, Gretchen. Eli, what dock is damaged in Cozumel? Who damaged it? There wasn't any information on that. left New Orleans early Friday after Mardi Gras. Crazy crowd scared my kids. We did have a breakfast at Brennan's. That was great. Melinda says hi. Hi, Melinda. I'm not a fan either. I guess I'm on my own here about New Orleans. Sorry, guys. I just like it. You're brave to take your kids there. Yeah, I've never said it was a kid's place. And one of the things in the story today, they talked about in the Mardi Gras and having kids there. I'm not sure I'd take kids to Mardi Gras. That to me is a lot of New Orleans Mardi Gras is maybe not X-rated, but certainly borderline. I don't know. I'd have to think hard about that one. Oh well, maybe like stupid. Gretchen says, "Nah, Gretchen, you're not stupid." Gary Older than the Dirt says, "Okay, I will check in today for Grandiosa beignets." There you go, Sonny. Thank you. God, I need Sonny to keep my brain going. Beignets, great place. They have them several places, but the one I like is kind of away from the downtown area, right near Jackson Square, and that's the best place. They have some music there, and you get the. I don't think you get. They might have a few other things on the menu, but everybody goes for beignets and coffee. I go for beignets and a Diet Coke, but I do like the beignets. They're good. You get powdered sugar all over you. That's law. You have to. I like the old part of New Orleans and buildings, but bad vibes for me in the quarter. Sorry, Sonny. Gretchen says took an hour of the Superdome. That was pre-Katrina, of course. Yeah, that's, I've been to some games in the Superdome, both before and after. Boy, Katrina, that was awful what happened after, all the damage done from Katrina. But anyway, it's a good city. Gretchen says also took the Natchez River boat cruise. Was that the name? Brings back memories. It could have been one of several cruises. Vikings does some river cruises, of course, American. The old Steamboat Queen. There have been several lines. Again, I've not done a river cruise out of New Orleans. It's on the bucket list. So I don't know about the damaged Cozumel Pier. I will ask my sources and find out. Yeah, all they said was the ship went to Falmouth, Jamaica instead of Cozumel because of damaged pier. No explanation as to how it got damaged or which pier it was. And I tried tracking that information down, and it was just nowhere today. Roger says, Tom, Eve, and I sail in our solo cabins on Valentine's Day. Hot Air says, we did the lunch river cruise too. That was nice. Gretchen says, oh no, this was a steamboat off the levee for a couple hours. Very nice. No lunch though. Elizabeth says, I've got Alma on the topic. Thank you, Elizabeth. Of course, Alma is our friend at the No Name Bar. If you guys ever are in Cozumel, great place to go. Just tell them Chillie and Eli sent you. They'll know who you mean. I've been there several times. It's kind of a tough place for me to go in a wheelchair because you have to go down a little alleyway between a couple skinny buildings. But I've been down it a couple times now. So maybe due to the damage. Well, that's what that's what we assume, but we don't know. I'd like to know. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today and the week. Again, I'm not going anywhere this weekend. Any of you that are traveling for the holidays, be safe, especially if you're traveling in some areas with the snow and the ice. We're probably going to have a high dose of wind today, maybe a little rain, but I think we're probably done with snow for the holidays. So I hope at least. Of course, Tuesday I have to go back to the cancer clinic for the third of my infusions. Unfortunately, it's an hour later, so I'm going to be really late getting out of there if they're running behind schedule at all. But that's on Tuesday. I, of course, will be back on Monday. In the meantime, guys, as always, smash that thumbs up button. That'll help me out a bunch. If you have not subscribed, please take this as my invitation to join us. The bell notification, you'll be notified when I go live or when a new video is up. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a wonderful Friday, everybody. A great weekend. And I'll see everybody back here Monday if I don't see you over the weekend. Have a great weekend, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.